The San Francisco 49ers have their franchise quarterback. With the third overall pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, the San Francisco 49ers selected Trey Lance. That is their franchise quarterback, not Jimmy Garoppolo. In this video, I'm going to examine a potential trade. The 49ers do want to trade Garoppolo. At least that's what it seems like. At least that's what it feels like. It feels like Jimmy Garoppolo has played his last game, his last snap with the 49ers. And that Trey Lance time is not later, it's not next year, it's this year. He's gonna start from game one. In this video, I will examine why Trey Lance will be the starter for the San Francisco 49ers and why Jimmy Garoppolo could make his way to the Houston Texans as their starting quarterback in 2021. Before I give you my thoughts on a potential trade between the Texans and the Niners for Jimmy Garoppolo, make sure that you do spike that like button, and don't forget to subscribe to the Bottom Line View for more NFL analysis and NFL rumors just like this. So, there are no official reports, no real rumors surrounding Jimmy Garoppolo to the Houston Texans, but now that the NFL draft is over, and now, as I've stated, Trey Lance is the guy, Trey Lance is the quarterback, Trey Lance is the franchise and the future of San Francisco. That means Jimmy is on his way out. So Jimmy G, at 29 years old, is looking for a place to start because I believe he is a starting quarterback in the NFL. And that is an asset that the 49ers possess right now that I'm not sure they really want. Yes, would it be helpful to have two quarterbacks? Absolutely. Could there be friction within the locker room? Maybe. Does this mean that Trey Lance may have to sit? Maybe. Or you're putting $25 to $30 million on the bench. Either way, the 49ers would probably like to trade Garoppolo. As much as Kyle Shanahan keeps telling us that Garoppolo's the starter, this and that and this and that, he's just trying to drive the trade value up for Jimmy G. I believe a destination, and just about the only destination for Jimmy Garoppolo, is the Houston Texans. If you go team by team, division by division, there is really only one team that would trade for Jimmy Garoppolo. The Denver Broncos already traded for Teddy Bridgewater, so they're out. The Carolina Panthers traded for Sam Darnold, then traded Teddy Bridgewater. All the other teams, New England, picked Mac Jones. All of the destinations that appeared to make sense, the Bears picked Justin Fields. Jimmy Garoppolo to the Texans is the only team that makes sense. It's the only one that I could see a plausible, realistic trade. Any other destination would be out of left field. Even if Garoppolo is better than the current starter on your favorite team, it's not going to happen because it wouldn't make sense. Houston right now is in the middle of a debacle. And we've seen reports that Deshaun Watson is not going to be playing this season, or at least it appears that he won't be playing this season. Sure, could Houston sit back, relax, have Tyrod Taylor play? I guess. Sure, could they sit back, relax, and have Davis Mills take some snaps? Okay. They also traded for Ryan Finley, so sure, they have plans in place. I'm not saying they don't have plans in place, but being that Nick Caserio is the general manager, being that Nick Caserio is from New England, being that Nick Caserio with Bill Belichick drafted Jimmy Garoppolo, being that Nick Caserio has signed about 7 or 8 Patriots just this offseason alone, or at least the Texans have that many on their roster already, including Brandon Cooks, who was a receiver at the same time that Jimmy Garoppolo was in New England, it would make sense that Jimmy Garoppolo would go to the Texans. At least it would save face a little bit. At least you have an answer for the future and you're not desperate to draft somebody first overall next year. You're not desperate to go out of your way to maybe trade up to get a quarterback. You're not desperate to find the franchise guy if Deshaun Watson goes the wrong direction. Plus, Jimmy Garoppolo has a flexible contract to the point where you don't have to have him as your guy long term. But if he is the answer, you're in a better situation moving forward. It's not like Jimmy G probably is going to make much of a difference in the wins and losses from a Tyrod Taylor. Maybe you're a slightly better team, but I think what you could see with Jimmy Garoppolo at only 29 years old, still isn't 30, you still might have a pretty okay quarterback who in the NFL has a winning record. When he plays, he's pretty good, but he's had injury concerns and injury issues, and it's the GM who drafted him. From that perspective, if there is a destination right now for Jimmy Garoppolo, think about it. It's the Texans. It has to be the Texans. There's no other direction. There's no other team. And the San Francisco 49ers are desperately trying to get rid of this guy. Because why? Because they don't want Garoppolo to start the week 1 game. Trust me, they don't. Because if Trey Lance does not play this year, it will be 2 years, since he's played a snap of football. He did play a game earlier this year, but 1 game. San Francisco needs to have Trey Lance play this year. And if Jimmy Garoppolo starts the year, and because the Niners are a very good team, they're very talented, they're very stacked, they're going to be good with Jimmy Garoppolo because Jimmy Garoppolo is not that bad. You're basically counting on Jimmy Garoppolo to rather get hurt again, or you're going to make waves in the locker room. It's not going to be a good situation because there's going to be one half of the team that thinks Trey Lance is the better option and one half of the team that thinks Jimmy Garoppolo is the option. This is a quarterback who took your team to the Super Bowl. Most of your roster's intact from that team. Most people in this locker room love Jimmy G. So unless you get rid of him, Trey Lance is never going to be the guy in the eyes of your teammates, your players. Does that not make sense? To me, I think Trey Lance has to start right away because they invest so much capital into him, 1, and number 2, the potential problem that exists with Jimmy G. And second, I think it's only fair to give Jimmy G an opportunity to start somewhere else because he is a top 32 quarterback. There's no doubt about that. He's somewhere around top 25, top 20. He should get an opportunity. The Texans could use a guy that probably has a higher ceiling, definitely than Tyrod Taylor. You would have to think he's better than Mills and Finley. Maybe you love Davis Mills. Maybe you do. Jimmy Garoppolo for a 3rd round pick, it's not going to cost you a lot because his contract's quite a bit. Maybe you restructure his contract and you trade a 2nd round pick for him, but you're not getting a 1st for him. You're maybe getting a 2nd, maybe, possibly a 3rd, possibly a 3rd and a 4th or a 5th, maybe even a 4th and a 5th. I don't know what the deal would be, what it would take, but it makes sense for both sides. I could see why the Texans fans may be like, well, if we're not going to have Watson, we might as well just tank. Well, in my opinion, you might as well have a quarterback that if he shows some good things, you're not going to be a good team, but at least you could fall back on Jimmy Garoppolo to be your future of your franchise for the next couple years, rather until you transition to the next guy, or, he can be good enough if you put a good team around him where they can be successful, especially, in the type of team they're trying to build in Houston. So it's a compelling trade and a compelling case, and I'm throwing it out there because I feel like it's definitely worthy of a discussion. Let me know in the comments what you think, but I really do feel like the Texans are the team, unless, this would be wild, the Niners hold on to Jimmy until like the trade deadline and end up trading him. But even then, that's a difficult thing to do because quarterbacks need to learn systems, right? They need an offseason to digest a system unless it's nearly an identical system. So is there another team that would want Jimmy Garoppolo unless he were a backup? I don't know. Are you really going to roll into the season with Tyrod Taylor as your starting quarterback? I don't know. Like, as cool as Tyrod Taylor may be, I don't know if you can do that. Like, it's kind of embarrassing. I don't know. But you guys let me know in the comments section below. That's just how I feel. I think it would be a good move for both sides. Let me know how you feel in the comments. It's Mitch. Thanks for watching. If you haven't already, make sure you do. Gronk, spike that like button and subscribe for more. Peace.